On October 10th, 2025, Trump announced 100% tariffs on China. Bitcoin crashed 15% in 1 hour. $19 billion liquidated in the crypto market, and over 1.6 million traders were wiped out. And I'm sitting here genuinely excited. Now, it's not because I'm a sociopath, but because I've seen this movie before. This exact pattern played out 3 times in 2025. Same setup, same crash, and similar recoveries. While the majority of people were panic selling or getting liquidated, the traders who saw this pattern printed. Because here's the thing about Trump's tariffs. He doesn't actually want them to go live. They're leveraged negotiation tactics. Once you see that, you stop panicking and start trading. I'm going to walk you through all 3 events, show you the 8-phase pattern that repeats, and exactly how to position for the next one, because there will be a next one. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. These crashes have created 2 types of traders. Reactive traders, glued to CNBC, refreshing Twitter every 30 seconds, panic sold Monday, bought back Thursday at higher prices. They lost money on the crash and on the recovery. Impressive, honestly. Then there were pattern traders. Shorted Sunday night, covered on Wednesday, flipped long, rode the bounce. Same crash, same 72 hours, but opposite results. February, April, October, traders who saw this pattern were able to print during all 3. And here's what keeps me excited. More tariffs are coming. Trade War 2.0 is just getting started. So which trader are you going to be next time? Let's do a full breakdown of the 3 events. By the 3rd one, you won't just see what I see. You'll love tariff announcements as well. February 1st, Trump announces 25% tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. At the time of this announcement, Bitcoin was sitting at $102,000. By Monday, price had dropped over $11,000 or 11% to a bottom of $91,000. Liquidations everywhere, everyone calling the top, bear market, it's over, you know the drill. Same panic, different month. By February 3rd, Trump pauses Mexico tariffs for 30 days because Mexico agrees to send 10,000 troops to the border. So after liquidating everyone here at $91,000, Bitcoin rips from $91,000 to a high of $102,000. So basically right back where it started. A 12% recovery and a $11,500 move up. The tariffs were never going to stick. They were leveraged. Trump wanted border security, so he threatened with tariffs. Mexico folded, tariffs paused, market bounced. First pattern clue, the tariffs aren't the point. The negotiation is. Now, just one event isn't a pattern. It could be a coincidence. But then April happened. April 2nd, 2025. Trump announces Liberation Day. Tariffs on dozens of countries, way bigger than February. At the time of this announcement, Bitcoin was sitting around $88,000. That day alone, Bitcoin dropped over 7% from a high of $88,544 to a low of $82,252. And by the end of that week, it had dropped 16% to a low of $74,384. And right on cue, people saying it's over, people panic selling, Trump is killing crypto. Same script, different month. April 9th, Trump pauses the tariffs for 90 days. Countries are lining up to negotiate. Bitcoin bounces up over 12%, a $9,000 move up, from a low of $74,000 to a high of $83,529. So once again, we have an announcement of tariffs, massive panic, skies falling, prices dropping, big liquidation event, an announcement of pausing tariffs, and prices recover. That's 2 for 2. But here's what I noticed this time. Trump kept making these bearish announcements when the market was closed. The February announcement was made on a Saturday. The April announcement was made on the Wednesday, but he doubled down over the weekend. So then on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, everything collapsed before eventually recovering. And this started to look like he was doing it on purpose. During the weekend, markets are closed, so you don't get that instant reaction, and the markets have some time to kind of process it before markets open on Sunday and Monday. So it was starting to look like it was not really a coincidence, but a tactic. File that one away. 2 events, same pattern, could be a coincidence, but then October hit, and October was the real test. October 10th, 2025. Trump stops playing nice and announces 130% tariffs on China. Now, during this time, we were sitting pretty. We had just hit some fresh new all-time highs 4 days earlier, had a small pullback, but we were sitting around $120,000. Now check this out. If we zoom into the 1 hour candles, that means this candle right here represents 1 hour. Bitcoin dropped 11%, $13,000 just within that hour. Not only that, but then it went right back up 11% or $11,000 during that same hour. $19 billion liquidated, 1.6 million accounts blown up. One of the largest liquidation events in crypto history. And the best part, everyone's surprised yet again. You know what I was doing while everyone was panicking? I was checking the calendar. This happened at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday. Of course, an hour after the markets closed. This is not a coincidence. No institutional support for Bitcoin during this time, so maximum damage was made while the markets were all closed, so they did not suffer. I waited. By the end of the month, Bitcoin had made about a 14% recovery, or $14,000, from a low of $102,000 to a high of $116,000. 3 for 3. Now, here's the thing. I didn't just watch these play out. I mapped out every phase, every signal, every transition. It comes in 8 phases and they repeat almost identically in order every single time. And once you see them, you might actually start hoping for that next tariff announcement, just like me. The pattern, 8 phases, same sequence every tariff event. Grouping these so they stick. It usually starts on the weekend, Friday and Saturday when the markets are closed. Trump drops something cryptic on Truth Social, something like big announcement coming. Markets get nervous, price drifts. This is your cue. Reduce leverage, close anything risky, don't open new trades, just watch. Then while the markets are closed, the bomb drops. Something like 25% tariffs effective next month. Sounds urgent, right? Here's the problem. Stock market is closed. Bitcoin's open, but the volume is usually dead. Saturdays are always traps. They're the worst time to trade. So what do? You wait. Sunday is where smart money moves. Sunday afternoon, noon to 6 p.m. Eastern, volume picks up, liquidity returns. And this is when smart money starts selling. Not because of the news, but they're usually trying to front run what futures will do at the open. If you're going to open a short position, this is your window. Ride the wave down into futures open. 6 p.m. Eastern, futures open, red. Bitcoin drops again. Double whammy, peak panic. This is when retail starts to break. If you're short, let it work. If you're flat, don't chase. Monday and Tuesday, fear everywhere. This is usually when Trump doubles down. The media starts running with apocalypse headlines. The retail traders who held through the weekend, they finally capitulate. But here's what nobody's thinking about. The tariffs usually don't start for another 2, 3, maybe even a month away. So nothing has actually changed. No tariffs have been collected. No trade has been blocked. Just words. Retail thinks the world is ending, but smart money knows it's just a negotiation tactic. And then Wednesday hits. This is usually when the shift in panic starts to fade. Sellers exhausted, everyone who wanted out is out, dip buyers step in, and we start to see green candles. This is when you flip, close shorts, and start scaling into longs. Take profits on your short orders and start scaling into long. Not all at once. I like to break it into 4 different orders usually. And I set up stop losses just below the recent lows. Week 2, the narrative changes. Talks are underway, both sides optimistic, progress being made. Translation, they're about to announce a deal. Once you start to see any signs of these, you add to your long positions. Week 2 to week 4, usually right when tariffs were supposed to go live, deal announced. Tariffs either paused, reduced, or just simply gone. Bitcoin pumps and shorts get liquidated. Scale out, take profits on the way up, don't get greedy because the pattern repeats. I watch for 4 signals to confirm each phase transition. Funding rates, fear and greed index, liquidations, and price action. I put them in a free guide with a full breakdown. I'll link it in the description. But here's what has my attention right now in this moment. Since the October tariffs crash, the S&P 500 has hit 3 new all-time highs. Bitcoin, on the other hand, although it's had a recovery of about 21% at the highs, as of this recording, we're still down 28% from the all-time highs in October. And that's unusual. The tariff pattern works. I just showed you 3 different examples, but Here's what's different this time. Based on historical cycles, we're now entering the window where bear markets typically start. And here's what I've learned from studying every major Bitcoin crash. Sometimes that initial drawdown isn't the dip. Sometimes it's chapter 1. Everyone's still talking about the New Year rallies, super cycles, the January effect, Bitcoin going back to new all-time highs. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's lagging the stock market for their first time this cycle. I made an in-depth video breaking down every major Bitcoin bear market, what caused them, what the charts looked like, and what everyone missed. Because here's the thing, I love tariff crashes. They're predictable, they're tradable. Bear markets are different, and if 2026 is setting up to be one, then you want to see this next video.